What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we are going to discuss the current state of Bitcoin, we are going to discuss the current state of Ethereum, we are going to discuss a few potential long ideas that I'm potentially eyeing up on the Bitcoin price. We are going to discuss a potential short and long idea that I'm potentially eyeing up on the Ethereum price as well. Later today, around 8 p.m. Central European time, we have the Fomc meeting and afterwards also the Fomc press conference, which might cause some volatility. Personally, I probably won't be trading until the Fomc meeting takes place. So it's best to prepare ourselves for the potential scenarios, to trade the potential scenarios, because like I always state, news events, they don't change the price action, they only speed it up. That doesn't mean that you should also trade before the news event. But personally, I do strongly believe that during the news event, if you see a clean setup, you should take it. Now, looking at the current state of Bitcoin, we can see that we are currently slow grinding to the upside. Now, there's two potential scenarios that could take place. This price action over here is reminding me quite a bit about the previous price action that we have seen in the past, in which we were also slowly grinding to the downside and it led to a big flush, right? Also over here, slow grinds various times to the downside, eventually they lead to a big flush, okay? We have seen this several times in the past. Also over here, slow grinds led to a flush. Slow grind led to a flush every single time. Right? Now, we have also seen a few times where we're not seeing a slow grind upwards, but we were seeing a slow grind downwards that also led to a big flush. Now, if we're going to reverse this, that could also mean that we are going to see a slow grind upwards. Everyone thinks this is weak. Everyone starts shorting, and eventually we get a short squeeze to the upside. It's possible. It's something that could definitely occur over the upcoming days. Now, it's something to keep in mind. How can we prevent ourselves from getting trapped into a short and getting trapped into a potential shorter squeeze? Now, we can prevent that by waiting for a shift in structure. Everyone that is currently entering shorts without market structure even shifting to the downside is extremely stupid, in my opinion. I'm simply going to say it. In my opinion, they're extremely stupid. You always want to trade with the trend and not against the trend. And currently the trend, guys, is still upwards. There's no reason to look at shorts because the trend hasn't shifted. Now on the 4-hourly time frame, we can see we still haven't filled this wick for 100%. There's still definitely some liquidity resting above this wick. Definitely something to keep an eye on. On the 1-hourly time frame, we can see that above that wick, we have this smaller untapped supply area, and above this first supply area / order block, we also have this one over here. Okay, so a potential short scenario could be take out that wick and go down. To take out that first supply area to go down. This is something to keep our eyes on the Bitcoin price. Now, besides that, what could be another potential short trigger for the Bitcoin price? Looking at the local price section on the 1-hourly time frame, we can see that we are still in an uptrend. We have formed a high, we have formed a higher low, and a higher high. Now, this is currently the low that brought us to this high. Okay, so this is also the low that we need to break in order to shift structure to the downside again. A lot of people, for example, will potentially look at, let's say, this low to break, or maybe they're looking at this low to break. Now, this low is valid on the 15-minute time frame, because we are going to zoom out. We can see that this low is definitely a valid higher low, right? And it also brought us to a new high because we slightly swept this high over here. But we know that the higher the time frame, the more likely it is for our setup to play out. So personally, I'm only willing to take a short if we get the hour 1 confirmation, okay? Because this slow grind upwards is a little tricky, because price action isn't as clean currently on Bitcoin, I'm only willing to take a short if we shift structure based on this low. Now, a shifted structure means a candle open and a candle close beneath this low. When we are shifting structure, I would also like to see a displacement because that is also indicating a shift in momentum to the downside. No displacement on the 1 hourly time frame or 4 hourly or 15-minute time frame, no trade. Okay, so two potential short scenarios: either we are going to shift structure based on this previous higher low over here, or we are going to take out this wick right over here, and we are going to look for shorts when we start tapping into the supply area, either over here or a little higher over here. See a bearish reaction after that sweep. That could also be a beautiful short trigger. Now, long-wise, I do think there's also a few potential areas where I'm interested in potential longs. Looking at a previous range on the 4 hourly time frame, we can identify simply the range high and the range low. Now we can see that the mid-range is still aligning with that area of interest that I've been talking about on Monday's YouTube video. This demand area / order block over here remains in my area of interest. Now, if we're going to see a reclaim of the range high and we break structure and we may be short the retest of the range high, target should be the mid-range. Around the mid-range, if we get a bullish reaction, I will start looking for longs. Not setting limits, only waiting for price action to develop. I've set my alerts out around the mid-range. If price action looks bullish, if we can get a shifted structure over there, I'm willing to take a potential long position. On the 4 hourly time frame, we can also see something else that is quite interesting. I think that this area over here could be a potential interesting area to look for longs as well. Why? First of all, we can see a local bullish sweep over here that resulted in this impulse upwards, right? Now that means that this is where the demand was coming into the market, which makes up for a nice order block. If we are going to extend this order block to the left, we can see that in the past, this has been a critical support and resistance area for the Bitcoin price. Resistance and supply was coming in for this impulse down. Resistance and supply was coming in for this impulse down. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Over here it was resistance. Over here it turned into support. And over here it turned into support. Now, above this demand area, we also have a beautiful inducement with this low over here. So, if price is going to sweep that inducement into our area of interest and we are going to find support over here, so instead of breaking that low that we are talking about, we fail to open and close candles beneath this low. Instead, we hold on to this area of support that I just talked about, and we don't confirm the shift in structure over here based on this price section, right? So yes, we break this low, but we fail to open and close candles beneath it, so we don't shift structure. Instead, we find support over here, we reclaim the previous low, we have a long trigger if we get a shifted structure, and the price is likely going to send higher. Second long scenario. Now, the third long scenario remains the exact same based on the video on Monday. This remains my main POI for swing longs. This bullish hour for value gap on top of this range low over here, on top of this strong demand area over here, remains my main area to look for swing longs on Bitcoin, targeting this high and eventually higher targets. If we are going to get a big dump during FOMC, I'm going to start building a swing long position within this area of interest. Now, if we are going to hold higher support levels like this one, or for example the mid-range, I will long only upon the right confirmation. Not setting limits, waiting for price action to develop near my POIs. If it's bullish, I will long. If it's bearish, I won't long. Now, moving over to Ethereum, my plan remains the exact same. Ethereum is having a hard time reclaiming the mid-range. We cannot really open and close any green candles above the mid-range, and we can also see that over here we got a small bearish retest. Now, my only area of interest for Ethereum to look for longs is once we take out this sell side liquidity over here and once we start tapping into this range low area. Tap into the range low, give me a bullish reaction. I will look for swing longs targeting this liquidity pool over here. Now, not setting limits yet. I explained it in Monday's YouTube video as well. If we form an inducement first, for example, bounce upwards afterwards, we have this inducement, then I will set limit longs over here. Okay, no inducement means no limit longs, means that we wait for price action to develop. Same with the short POI. It's a beautiful and strong POI, but until we form some kind of inducement, I'm not going to set limits. Form the inducement. This is where we should set short limits with our invalidation over here, targeting the range low. Now, if we don't form that inducement first, but simply straight away pumping it into that short POI, I'm going to wait for price action to develop and base my short on that. Very simple plans for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Multiple scenarios possible. Most of them I would prefer to wait for price action to develop. Both long and short scenarios have been discussed in today's YouTube video. If you do have any questions after watching this YouTube video, please let me know in the comments down below. Guys, also don't forget to check out Prime XPT. I've left my link in the description down below. You can sign up by using my link. You can trade Forex, commodities, and also 8 crypto futures pairs right there on Prime XPT. So make sure to check it out. You can use my affiliate link in the description down below to sign up. If you guys have any questions about Prime, if you guys have any questions about Bitcoin or Ethereum, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to check you guys on the next YouTube video. Ciao, ciao.